Okay, this is Brad with the Guitologist with a new video today, and we're going to look at this. I don't know what this is as far as date-wise, but I think it's late 50s, probably early 60s. Magnavox Phonograph console. There's two 12-inch speakers in here. Here are the controls. I'm not sure yet what model this thing even is. It just now entered my house, so. See what the Stylus looks like. There actually is one on there. And overall, everything looks to be in pretty good condition. Dusty. And we got some paperwork with it as well. Maybe another stylus in there. Some warranty information. The original bag, all the paperwork came in. Let's see. Pull all this stuff out of here. Ten records only at one time. Oh, it tells you somebody had to make a note there how to orient the stylus. But that's pretty cool. It's got the information about the power amp, which we will take a look at. Cool. Let's see. Wishing you a Magnavox Christmas. Yeah, I think this thing has been in Louisville, Kentucky all of its life, and some conscientious owner clipped this Louisville Times article out, and Louisville Times no longer exists to my knowledge. I think they're long gone, like most newspapers around the country. But you can see they were really anal about taking care of their stuff. As they clipped this out, wanting to make sure they treated their records properly, which that's nice to see. And this was shoved into this thing, this Merry Christmas from Magnavox. So that's pretty cool. Talking about frequency response. Tones that people can hear, what distortion is. So pretty cool there. Pretty neat to see all this original paperwork and stuff. There had this as well. Envelope contains warranty card, instructions, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Nothing's made there the same as it used to be, that's for sure. Here's all the stuff that was inside that. Let's see. Got all of our hang tags. 3 months of service you got. Plus a full year warranty on tubes and parts. Pretty cool. How to operate the phonograph. I doubt I'll need this, but still cool. and this is the exact one because that's exactly this phonograph, so that's nice. Yep. This is for this exact model, without a doubt. How to install a new stylus. Cabinet care, which is kind of interesting because this says not to polish it, or this says to keep it polished, and then this thing, this card, says do not polish. This is like a punch card. It came with the player from Reith Company. It has a number on it, and I suppose you would have handed them this card with your, if you needed service, and they would have stuck it in a machine, and it would have probably given you some kind of readout as to your history. Not really sure, but that's some kind of unique identifier punched into there. Pretty cool. Here's that buyer's guide once again. It's really neat to have all the paperwork. I'm just probably set for a couple hours just looking at this stuff. Alnico 5 speaker magnets. That would have been for the tuner models if you had a tuner. There's a record player. So cool to have that. Ruth Electric. High 7600. Then we got this. And this looks like where they were researching what to buy. So they had their catalog out. Let's see what year this is, if it says anywhere. This is definitely the correct year because I've already thumbed through it. Let's see if it's listed anywhere. The Cosmopolitan. She's cute. Let's see. More TVs. That one's a nice little fold-up cabinet. There's our mid-century legs there on a TV. I still don't see a date. There's the Continental, Magnarama, the Aristocrat, and the Windsor. Donna Reed? No, that's some generic model. Telerama. What a cool name. get into the hi-fis. Look at that. That's pretty impressive. The Boxia. Wedgwood. And you can see the prices creeping down here from the top, which was $495. Provincial Serenade, Contemporary, $395. Concertmaster, $298.50. They really needed that 50 cents to make it worth their while to build. Look at this little guy, that's cool, the Sinfonet. $139.50. Pretty cool. Looks like it doubled as a little side table when you weren't using it. $198.50. Not sure why they saw fit to rewrite the prices up here. Probably because the prices had gone up by the time they actually bought it when they called around. So this is the one I have, the Magnasonic 420 CP291B. Incorporates two 12-inch space speakers plus coaxially mounted 5-inch high-frequency speakers, all with sound diffusers. Balanced 20-watt high-fidelity amplifier, precision intermix changer, Pianissimo pickup, and dual stylus, variable bass and treble, yada yada. Also available as Model 292B radio phonograph, priced slightly higher, which adds a super selective drift and static-free AM/FM radio to provide brilliant FM performance. So they could have gotten the radio, which is not in this one, for a bit more money probably. Here's their little phonographs for like countertop use. Like $90, so that was a lot of money back in the early 60s. Ruth Electric Company, Bardstown Road. Marjorie Ruth. Huh. So this thing was actually purchased right near where I'm at right now. So it hasn't even traveled that far in its life, which that's good too. Should have a little less wear and tear. Yeah, I don't think that means anything as far as a date code or anything. I could probably look this business up and see when they were in business. Give me an idea. And I'm sure that I could figure out exactly when this model was made anyway. But yeah, so there's that. Let's take a look at the amplifier. Actually, before we look at the amplifier, here's the stuff that was bound up with that phonograph needle. And we can see this thing was serviced with a new needle for $5 in September 1960. Tierman Lane, Louisville. Cool. And then it was serviced again in September of 1966. Same place. Interesting, look, it's the same date. 9/17/60 and 9/17/66. So it looks like 6 years later, they probably called them back. That's what it was. They said, hey, you need to replace your needle. Pretty cool. So check that out. This is their warranty. Probably came with the needle. So cool. Let's check out the amp. Here's the back of the unit, and you see our 12-inch Magnavox labeled speakers back there, and our amplifier. The chassis number on this is 128E. And let's see if we got a date code on the power transformer. That should tell us a little closer to the actual date. I'm guessing around 1960. It could be a 56 though. Looks like it might be a 56. 39th week. Yep. This one 1966 or 56, 32nd week. So 1956, this thing's in great shape for 1956. Must have been in some old lady's house for a long time. Serial number, model number, style number, voltage information, and then there's another sticker in here with the same information on it. You can see where the coaxial speakers are on the other side, because you got wires that are running actually underneath the speaker to the other side of it. So there's a coaxial speaker connection on the other side. I'm assuming it's a separate speaker, probably mounted on the cabinet forward. But we've got two 5Y3 rectifiers, so we've got two rectifiers in this thing. 4 6V6s and one what looks like it might be a 12AX7, which I'm not sure how that's going to work. So one preamp tube for 4 6V6 output. It's a bit strange. Probably use this chassis for other models as well, because there's a punch out where another tube might have gone. Very strange though to have just one preamp tube and 4 power tubes, 2 rectifiers. We're gonna have to see what's going on with this. Look at the schematic and everything. As for the cabinetry, you can see the baffle is real plywood. Everything's in real clean shape. Alright, we're just going to fire this thing up and see if it works. We'll turn it on. And this is the bass control. So we'll just put it right there on normal. Alright. Probably going to need caps for sure. Just out of curiosity, let's see if we get anything at all. Let's say start and stop. Oh, it did drop. Ooh. Is it gonna work? I can hear something out of the needle. It's like it's getting no signal in. Let's go around the back. Alright. We have fire on our 5-watt breeze. We have fire on our 6V6s. I can see 2 of them. Let's see. I don't see any fire in that 12X. Yeah, I do. Okay. It's pretty quiet without that plugged in, so something's not right with that. Let's see, it goes up and in through there. Let's see if that's even. It's almost like we got a grounding issue on our Stylus. We'll have to investigate that a little further. Alright, let's see if our reject is working. It did actually drop the record. Whoops. Well, that's not very reliable, is it? Well, it did work, but it kind of scratched across the record. Not really what you want to see. But we need to trace that. We need to trace all that stuff out. I think I might have to take this control panel out and see what's going on. If we're getting good connection from the Stylus through. Yeah, see, check this out. We definitely have some kind of grounding issue with the speakers up. Watch this. So yes, definitely something going on with the connection, or the ground connection from the Stylus down to the amplifier, I'd say. Okay, it looks like we just have 2 screws here that hold this thing in. Okay, well that explains the mystery of our missing preamp tube. There's a second preamp tube right there. There's also, let's see, what is this chassis? This is 129D. So this is a little preamp. And here's where our phono comes in. I'd say this probably is just really dirty, that's my guess. Not getting good ground connection, perhaps. So we're going to spray that. We'll flip it back on and wiggle our tube as well and see what that does. Okay, here's the little preamp. And the little preamp tube looks like a 6AV6. Everything's really clean in here. And some pretty decent caps that I don't suspect should be bad. Looks like it's very well made. I don't see anything obviously disconnected. So let's fire this thing back up again and just play around with it. Alright, we got it flipped back on, and we do have some fire in this tube. So that's alive. Although it might be bad, because listen to that. I don't know, I'm suspecting this tube at the moment. But listen to that too, just wiggling that. Sounds better than it did. Pots need cleaned. Let's see. See where we're at on this. Let's try this again. Whoops. Really? What was that? Oh, it's that. Look, watch that. Look at that. Let's see. Maybe. Let's try to start this thing without hitting that. Good God. Let's turn it down. Flip it back over. I forget which one was the correct one, but let's start it. Went right back off. Let's see. Let's try that again. Okay, so it's not cycling correctly. Let's see what that does right there. Yep, just keep setting right back down. Let's try doing this manually. Let's get this back out of the way. And this actually has a little stowaway right there. Let's try it again. Okay, well, at least it kept going. The amp is working. That much is clear. And I think we had multiple problems. I think there was a ground issue right here, and we've solved that, I believe. This tube might still be bad because I'm getting a lot of noise whenever I hold it. So that might be a bad tube. I could test it, or I could just dig up another one. But I think the problem is in this stylus. I don't think it's connected all the way. So let's open that up. Okay, I think I may have found the problem with the bad signal. You can see here, there's two different needles, one over on this side and one over on this side. And when you flop these, they're supposed to change, but somebody has tied this one off so that it can't change. Maybe to protect their records, like no matter which way you flipped it. Maybe they thought that that would prevent somebody in their house from, kids maybe, from messing up their records. You can see they were kind of meticulous about that, but look what they've done. They've taken a piece of wire and wired that around so it stays up, but it looks like it's grounding out against this other piece of the stylus. So we're gonna remove this little piece of wire they have wrapped in there and see what difference that makes. I'm assuming that might change. That might actually fix our input problem, but I did notice that we had some wow and flutter and stuff going on, and we're going to need to do some general maintenance on this turntable for sure. So I've got more to come. All right, you get this off here. It looks like with a little thumb screw. So I'll just unscrew this little thumb screw right here. And this should, I guess, come out of here. Yeah, see that piece of wire? What the f is that all about? I mean, the only thing I can think is maybe they did that on purpose so somebody wouldn't switch the needles. I just don't know. But they've definitely gummed that up. Look at that. They bent the hell out of it too. Let's see if we can fix that. Okay, we got that stupid little piece of wire off of there. Now we're going to have to bend those needles so that they're both back even. But yeah, look at that. Somebody just had that wired around that needle there so it couldn't change. Really strange. Well, let's bend this back into position and put it back in just for the hell of it and see if that fixed our problem. Okay, we've bent our styli back where they're supposed to be, and it's even. So let's slap it back in the player. Okay, now with that stupid piece of wire gone, we actually have the stylus that works. You can see here as you flip it, it pushes forward the one that you're selecting. So there, that one's being pushed forward. And when you flip it over, the other one gets pushed forward. So that's the way it's supposed to be. Let's see, you can see there how that works. So that should solve that problem, hopefully, as far as the signal goes. I think we may also have to go through and service the turntable itself, because I think some of the works might be a bit gummed up. So we're gonna, if we can get focused. So we'll probably end up having to take this thing apart. I was getting some wow and flutter, and I think that is down to the idler wheel is probably shrunken. So we're gonna have to do something about that probably. But we'll see. First I'm going to plug this thing back in and make sure we've gotten that problem sorted, and then we'll come back and probably service the rest of this turntable. Okay, we got this thing working. Don't want to get a copyright strike, but we've got the turntable out. I'm going to do some lubrication and stuff still on the turntable because it's got some wow and flutter. But we did manage to solve the problem by cleaning up all these contacts on the arm. There's several contacts actually that the signal has to pass through, and they all really need to be cleaned and tightened and so forth all the way down through there. So that's what I did, and I think I got it okay at the moment. I just need to get out a scale. I've got like a little coin scale. I can put this this arm on to make sure we're tracking correctly. And you can kind of hear it. It's a bit. The table itself is just a bit loud. I think everything just needs to be greased. All the bearings and everything need to be greased. And I haven't checked the speed yet to see that the speed is correct. Seems relatively close. I'm really not that familiar with this album, so it's kind of hard to tell. But we're gonna check that stuff and lubricate this turntable at various points. And you can hear right now there's a little bit of rustling, and that has to do with our pots. Our pots are kind of dirty, so I'm gonna open this thing up and clean the pots, and also this socket's pretty dirty right there, so I'm gonna clean that socket. Probably go ahead and pull all those tubes and clean those sockets too. But that's gotten us most of the way toward having this thing going. Okay, I finally have this turntable all sorted out. I got everything lubed up underneath with some lithium grease. I treated the rollers, the idler wheel, and so forth with some belt conditioner. It's actually automotive belt conditioner is what I used, and it actually worked out pretty well. I changed the tension on a couple of springs in the mechanism because it was running slowly, and Now I think we're ready to go. This was actually a Collaro made in Britain turntable. I'm not sure what exactly the model is. I'm sure you'll be able to tell by this mechanism back here. A few of the ones that I saw didn't have any of this, but this one does. But yeah, let's see what how it operates. Okay, let's just check how the changer works. None of this stuff was really working at first. I mean, it would all seize up on you. Working pretty much to perfection now. I don't want to get hit with a copyright infringement. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the end of the record so you can kind of see how it returns. Let's see. The next one drops down like it's supposed to.
Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning now, come on a safari with me.
So yeah, that concludes our presentation on this Magnavox. Really cool little changer. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's mono, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't have to be stereo because we don't get any stereo separation really anyway. So yeah, cool little old Magnavox. If you guys get a chance to pick one of these up pretty cheaply like I did, you know, try your hand at servicing it. I know a lot of people who follow my channel probably wanted me to see to see me turn this into a guitar amp, which frankly I'm not going to do. But we're going to take a 1/4 inch to RCA adapter cable, remove these screws that hold in the preamp box, which gives us access to the bottom side of the preamp with the spare tube. Here's where the phonograph plugs in here. We're going to just unplug that. And we're going to take our RCA cable and plug the RCA into here. We're going to plug this side into our trusty guitar, and let's see what it sounds like. So yeah, really nice clean tone. If you wanted to rock this thing up a little bit, you could probably adjust the preamp, go in and do some modifications on the pre, and get this thing really rocked up. But yeah, I mean, if you want a real cheap vintage tube amp, this is the big secret, guys. Go find yourself one of these things and put it in your living room. Enjoy the records, and then when you want to rock out with guitar, just plug it in with guitar. You could even modify it so that the input had an additional jack somewhere on the cabinet, which I may even do that. Who the hell knows? But really cool, this old equipment. Good power, good speakers. Everything in it was built to last, and I think we've proven that. I didn't do anything at all to the amplifier. I didn't even change the electrolytic caps. They just reformed and came right up. So yeah, killer equipment. The only thing I really had to work a lot on was the record changer, because it was seized up and wouldn't work correctly. But yeah, man, a very cheap way to get into vintage amplification. That's my daughter back there, in case you didn't know. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe below, and y'all take care.
Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how.